So, I'd like to start with something that you have written quite eloquently about, and that is one of the most persistent stories about Hamas's origins. And it's something that gets repeated not only in the mainstream Western media, but also quite frequently by people ostensibly sympathetic to Palestine. And this is the narrative that Israel essentially created or funded Hamas as an Islamist counterweight to the secular PLO and the Palestinian left. You've written an excellent piece for Electronic Intifada, arguing that this story is not simply reductive, but it's also historically wrong, and that some of the evidence most commonly cited for it doesn't withstand scrutiny. So, on your account, the conventional story of a supposedly benign Islamist movement being tolerated by the occupation until the First Intifada doesn't square with the evidence that Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, founder of Hamas, and others were already constructing clandestine military and security organizations in the early 1980s, and that the occupation was arresting them precisely for that activity. So I wanted to just at least start by giving you an opportunity to reconstruct some of that history.
It was actually propagated and popularized by none other than Mohammed Dahlan, who would go on to, in the summer of 2007, work with the CIA and work with General Keith Dayton and Condoleezza Rice to attempt to coup the democratically elected Hamas government. In a courtyard debate that took place with none other than Yahya Sinwar in 1985 at the courtyard of the Islamic University of Gaza, we find the topic come up. The topic in this debate, being debated by the Palestinian Muslim Brotherhood student activist circle, the Islamic Bloc, and Fatah's Kutla, represented by Mohammed Dahlan, concerns the struggle against the Israeli occupation. It's here that Mohammed Dahlan makes the claim, articulating for the first time the narrative that would then proliferate, that the Israelis had in fact been giving permission or creating the framework for the proliferation of the Islamic bloc as a counterweight to the Fatah movement. This is the first time that it's really articulated, but over the subsequent decades, it's picked up, particularly after the formation of the so-called 10 resistance organizations, 10 organizations that were opposed to the Madrid-Oslo peace process. After these 10 organizations coalesced into a unified organization, Yasser Arafat feared that it could stand as a competitor organization to the PLO and therefore besmirched its name, saying that it, being led by Hamas, was associated with Israel as a counterweight. Oftentimes during this period, Arafat unfortunately trafficked in sectarian language, saying that Hamas, being close to Iran, was a non-indigenous project imposed from without rather than organic.